Now, I'm not one to gossip, but I will bring you the tea. Welcome to Chronicle Speaks.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Look at you.
Well, it looks like the chickens have truly come to roost and the waters have run dry. We by Wendy is no longer financing her ex and his newfound family. Wells Fargo locked Wendy out of her account, and since she's no longer making the money she was making on her hit daytime TV show, her ex Kelvin Hunter is no longer receiving alimony, and since those payments have stopped, the ex-mistress is now burning the midnight oil, cooking chicken and waffles, trying to support the family, and Kelvin is getting hit with notices left and right for past due bills. The latest bill is from UBS Bank, who is taking Kelvin to court for being $15,000 over his credit limit and failing to make payments. And lastly, their son Kevin is clearing his name in a recent interview, blasting people who would ever think he would steal from his mother. He claims that the credit card he was accused of using was one that his mother had let him use since the 6th grade, and he used it last year to fly his mother to and from doctor's appointments and to pay for health expenses. We are going to clear up all of these credit card issues and more, but before we do, please be sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss out on any news regarding this story and so much more. Now let's get back into it. So Kelvin is obviously upset with me after I put the story up about him having to sell his house and things going bad. I was blocked before, but now every Instagram account I have linked to Chronicle Speaks is now blocked too. Anywho, Kelvin, I got this current story from Radar Online, so no need to be mad at me for this one. Okay, so the headline reads, Wendy Williams' ex-husband Kevin sued over 5-figure debt months after losing alimony fight. So let me just say this. It's unclear what all Kelvin walked away with when the divorce was final and the firing from the Wendy Williams show was final, but we do know that he recouped money from both situations. Although initial reports after the divorce stated that they both agreed to forego alimony. Wendy and Kelvin have both admitted that Wendy was paying him monthly.
I am paying alimony.
Now these payments have stopped because there was a clause in the divorce agreement that if Wendy wasn't making equal or more than what she was making on the Wendy Williams show, Kelvin's payments could possibly stop. And boy, did they. Kelvin filed a motion in November of 2022 saying, I have fallen behind on most of my bills. I currently live in a community that requires payments to the Homeowners Association, and I'm behind on that bill. If the Homeowners Association fees are not paid, foreclosure will soon follow. My car insurance hasn't been paid as a result of not receiving monthly severance payments. I'm behind on credit card payments because I have no money since the severance payments were suspended. My life has been greatly affected since the plaintiff stopped making payments under our settlement agreement. Kelvin also claimed that he needed hip surgery and he couldn't get it done because he couldn't afford insurance, and now he lives with daily pain. So let's get into this credit card and find out what is going on. Now, the factual background of this UBS card says defendant maintains and or maintains certain brokerage accounts at UBS Financial Services, Inc., which is an affiliate of UBS Bank. In connection with the foregoing, defendant applied for a UBS Visa Signature credit card issued by UBS Bank and agreed, among other things, that any UBS Visa Signature credit card issued to him would be governed by the terms of a separate credit card member agreement. UBS Bank approved defendant's application and in or around August of 2014, subsequently issued to him a UBS Visa Signature credit card account number ending in blah, blah, blah. To skip around a little bit, it says UBS Bank has advanced certain credit to defendant under the account. As a result of those credit advances under the account, there's an outstanding balance due and owing from defendant to UBS Bank in the amount of $20,176.83 as of March 28, 2023, plus interest, attorney fees, and other expenses. Now, they sent him letters on January 23, 2023 and March 1, 2023, letting him know that he had defaulted under the terms of the agreement and that the outstanding balance had been accelerated, and they no longer just wanted a payment, they wanted everything. They wanted the $20,176.83, the prejudgment and post-judgment interest, cost of the suit, including attorney fees and such other and future relief as the court deems just and equitable. So let's look at this statement that caused the lawsuit to even come about. Now, this statement period says from March 27th to March 28th, 2023. I guess they said, let's just print something, give him a one-day statement. Now, the minimum payment due was showing $6,594.50. Payment due date is showing April 25th, 2023, but he's over the limit, $15,176.83. When you subtract that from the statement balance of $20,176.83, that means this is a $5,000 credit card, and he's over the limit, $15,000. Now, what I find just a little bit questionable is that Kelvin went to the judge November of 2022 and he asked that the alimony be restarted, and the judge said that this was not an emergent situation. But then all of a sudden in January he receives a letter from UBS Bank stating that the payment needed to be made, and then he received another letter in March. And now all of a sudden he has $20,000 due. Make this an emergent situation to get the alimony restarted again, or are you really falling on hard times? It's just hard for me to believe that you went through that much money that quickly. I fail to realize Kelvin is a New York dude at the end of the day, Brooklyn at that. I just don't feel like Kelvin is laying down, taking all of these L's. There's some scheme in this. It's a scheme. Well, we do not know what's going to happen with this situation. However, you know I will keep you up to date, whether Kelvin likes it or not. Now let's get into the situation with Lil Kev. So the headlines read, I did not take advantage. Wendy Williams' son claims he used her American Express card to pay for her treatment after he was accused of charging $100,000 to her card. So you may remember in September of last year, headlines read that Wendy Williams' son Kevin spent over $100,000 on his mother's Amex card, and this was partially the reason why the court wanted to appoint a guardian over her account. Now Kevin has come forward to clear his name. In a statement he made to the U.S. Sun, he said in court they brought up the American Express situation. They made this a much bigger issue. When she was here in Florida, the Amex card was our only source of paying for things. The Amex was the only source of paying for things after that, especially when it came to doctor's appointments and private planes to get her to and from appointments in New York. I had to look for ways to transport her. If we had to get to an appointment up there in New York, we would have to book a private plane. If we had to make a certain appointment down here, we had to book it on American Express. Having her here in an environment where the number one priority isn't being at the Wendy Williams show or to be at certain appointments or whatever, they were more annoyed by the fact that they didn't have the control that they had over her all these years, from my perspective. Because when she's in New York, it's a lot easier to pull her around to certain places and have her isolated away from the family so that she doesn't have any other influences to make choices that are for her health and not for financial benefit. I had always used the Amex, always, before everything that happened ever since I was young, starting in the 6th grade. She always allowed me to access a credit card, whether it be for an emergency or because I wanted something. And what she would do was she would read her credit card statement at the end of the month. I never took advantage of it. It was never something that she would ever say it was inconvenient or anything like that. It was always something she wanted to do because she wanted me to enjoy certain access to things. Kevin said this was normal for him growing up in a wealthy household. He claimed that he believed once people in her orbit who were employed by Wendy saw how serious he was about her health, that's when issues arose about his involvement. Once everyone else got involved and saw who I am in all of this, and that I was very serious about keeping her in a state of healing, and that I wasn't going to take a certain amount of money to bring her back to New York, I said, listen, I appreciate that offer, but once I made that clear that I was very serious, then it became about certain evidence being brought against me, and transactions were brought against me to make it seem like I was taking advantage of her American Express account. The reality of the situation was I have never had a reason to go behind her back to buy something that I would want. If anything, she'd offer to get things, and I would say, Mom, that's a lot. I don't post on Instagram. I don't care about those things. I don't care about being flashy. But when it came to the Amex, they were like, look how much he uses his mom's Amex, and saying I was taking advantage of her and using it for my own intentions. And that was not the case. Kevin also stated that while Wendy was locked out of her Wells Fargo accounts and in his care, he was also locked out of the accounts that were earmarked for his college needs. He said they had also locked me out of my school accounts, so anything that I would normally be able to pay for on my own through my school accounts, they had locked me out of, so we had to use the Amex card to get through. The fact that this man has to explain what he's doing with his mother's account when she's given him permission to use it since he was in the 6th grade is asinine. I honestly don't know what's going on with Wendy at this point. I guess she's still in rehab. We haven't seen her. We haven't heard anything about her. And obviously with him coming forth like this, I feel like he's trying to put things out there in the event that something happens to his mother. And God forbid it does, but I guess in the meantime, he's just trying to make sure that, for one, he protects his name, and in the event that something does happen to his mother, they will start looking at these people. He won't come out afterwards. He's coming out now. I just hate to see this highly educated woman that took absolutely no nonsense go through something like this. She has a guardian over her money. She can't touch anything. She worked this hard to make sure that her son not only has the life that she had growing up, but had a better life. And now he's having to scrape to get by, in the account that he's always been able to use, they're not even letting him use it anymore. This is crazy. What I need to do is find out what you guys think about all of this going on with the camp of Wendy Williams, starting with Kelvin and this $20,000 credit card. Do y'all think he ran it up on purpose so he can really try to get his alimony? And then also tell me what you think about Lil Kev explaining himself to the public. Do you think he even had to? Leave a comment, and you know how we do. We'll talk about it down below. Talk to you guys later. Bye. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and hit that bell so you don't miss any of my new episodes.